The door slammed shut behind Ethan Miller as he kicked it closed with his heel, grocery bag slipping from his fingers and hitting the floor. Milk sloshed inside the carton. He froze. The air smelled wrong. Not stale. Not tired. Not like the lonely apartment he'd left that morning. Warm. Clean. Like lemon soap and something simmering on the stove. His heart began to pound. "Lily," he called out, panic rising. "Sweetheart." No answer. Ethan stepped forward slowly, every nerve screaming. His eyes scanned the living room, and his breath caught in his throat. The couch cushions were fluffed. The piles of laundry he'd meant to fold weeks ago were gone. The dusty floor shone. A mop leaned neatly against the wall like it belonged there. Then he heard movement. From the kitchen, Ethan rushed forward and stopped dead in the doorway. A woman stood at his sink, sleeves rolled up, hands submerged in soapy water. Her dark hair was tied back loosely. A faint smear of foam dotted her wrist. She turned. Their eyes met. Ethan's knees nearly gave out. Ms. Whitmore, Claire Whitmore, CEO of Whitmore Tech, stared at him in silence. For a split second, her face mirrored his shock. Then something softer crossed her expression. Something almost human. "I didn't think you'd be home yet," she said quietly. The grocery bag slipped from Ethan's hand. The carton burst. Milk spilled across the clean floor. He didn't notice. You're cleaning my house," he whispered, voice cracking. Claire glanced down at the sponge in her hand, then back at him. "Yes." Ethan took a step back like he'd been struck. This isn't funny. If this is some kind of test." "It's not," she said quickly. "Ethan, please. Just let me explain." His chest tightened. "You're my boss. I know. You're not supposed to be here. I know. Did I do something wrong?" His voice broke on the last word. Claire set the sponge down carefully, drying her hands on a towel, as if she were afraid of moving too fast. "You did everything right." Ethan laughed once, hollow and disbelieving. "Then why are you in my kitchen?" For a moment, she didn't answer. The silence stretched, heavy and uncomfortable. If you've ever been so confused you feel dizzy, you know exactly how Ethan felt in that moment. And if you're wondering what you do in his place, don't go anywhere, because this is where everything begins to unravel. Claire gestured to the chair. "Please, seat." "I don't think I can," he said. "Ethan." Something in her voice made him obey. He lowered himself into the chair slowly, hands gripping his knees. "I found out about your situation," she said. His stomach dropped. "My situation? You're a single father." He nodded warily. "Yes. You work late. You come in early. You leave exactly at 6 every day. I have to pick up my daughter." "I know." He swallowed. "Then you know I don't have time for whatever this is." Claire's lips pressed together. "That's exactly why I'm here." The words hung between them. His mind raced. Had HR complained? Had someone accused him of slacking off? Was this a warning disguised as kindness? "You don't need to pretend," Ethan said quietly. "If I'm in trouble, just say it." Claire's eyes flickered. "No one's in trouble." He laughed again, sharper this time. "People like me don't get visits like this for no reason." That stung her. He saw it. She exhaled slowly. "You're right. There's a reason." Before she could continue, a small voice drifted from the hallway. "Daddy." Ethan shot up. Lily, his 6-year-old daughter, peeked around the corner, backpack still on, hair slightly messy from the after-school program. Her eyes widened when she saw Claire. "Who's that?" Lily whispered. Ethan's heart pounded. "It's my boss." Claire crouched immediately, lowering herself to Lily's level. Lily. "I'm Claire." Lily studied her carefully. "Are you mad at my dad?" "No," Claire said softly. "I'm very proud of him." Ethan's throat tightened. Lily smiled shyly, then ran to hug him. "You're home early." He kissed the top of her head. "Yes, sweetheart." As Lily disappeared into her room, Claire stood slowly. "You see," she said gently, "this matters." Something inside Ethan cracked. If this moment already has your heart racing, hit like and stay with us, because what Claire is about to reveal changes everything. Hours earlier that day, Ethan had been invisible again. He always was. He'd slipped into the office before sunrise, coffee in hand, eyes heavy from another night of broken sleep. His co-worker Mark hadn't even looked up. "Hey, you're early," Mark muttered. "System updates," Ethan replied. Mark smirked. "Of course you are." By noon, the servers crashed. Panic rippled through the floor. Managers shouted. Fullness rang nonstop. Ethan didn't wait for instructions. He rolled up his sleeves and got to work. 6 hours later, the system was back online. The office erupted in applause for the managers. Ethan quietly shut down his computer. "You can log overtime," his supervisor said without looking up. Ethan shook his head. "It's fine." Mark scoffed. "Why do you always do that?" Ethan smiled faintly. "I have somewhere to be." At 5:58 p.m., he grabbed his jacket. "Leaving already?" someone muttered. "My daughter has a school presentation," Ethan said. The laughter that followed burned more than the exhaustion ever could. He didn't know Claire had been watching from her glass office above. She'd seen him stay late every night, leave early every evening, never complain, never ask. She'd pulled his file. Single parent, widowed, no disciplinary issues, no raises in 3 years. She'd also found something else. Anonymous donations from an internal account. Shift coverage for co-workers who never returned the favor. Declined promotions. That night, Claire drove home in silence. Her penthouse felt empty. Her reflection in the mirror felt unfamiliar. She remembered another man who'd come home exhausted every night. Another small apartment. Another child who'd waited by the door. Her father. He'd been a single parent too. He'd worked until his body gave out. No one cleaned his house. No one helped him. The next morning, Claire made a decision she'd never made before. She went to Ethan's address. Back in the apartment, Ethan stood frozen as Claire finally spoke again. "I didn't come here as your CEO," she said. "I came as someone who recognized something she ignored for too long." He shook his head. "You shouldn't be doing this." "I know," she said, "but I needed to." "Why?" His voice was barely audible. Claire looked around the small apartment. "Because I saw the cracks, and I remembered what happens when no one fills them." Tears burned Ethan's eyes, but he blinked them back fiercely. "I'm fine," he lied. Claire met his gaze. "No, you're surviving." The words shattered him. He pressed his palms against the table, shoulders shaking. "I don't need charity," he whispered. "This isn't charity," she said firmly. "This is humanity." Ethan covered his face, and for the first time in years, he cried. If this moment touched you, let us know in the comments. Your support helps stories like this reach people who need them. Claire stayed until dinner was done. She didn't rush. She didn't explain everything yet. She just stayed. And Ethan had no idea this was only the beginning. Claire stayed longer than Ethan expected. She helped set the table without asking, moved naturally through the small kitchen as if she belonged there, as if she wasn't the most powerful woman in the company, but just another adult making space for a tired child. Lily watched her with wide eyes, curiosity shining through her usual shyness. "You can sit there," Lily said, pointing to a chair. "That's Daddy's spot." Claire smiled. "Then I'll sit here," she replied, choosing the smallest chair at the corner. "Thank you for letting me join you." Ethan watched the scene like he was observing someone else's life. His chest still ached from crying, but now there was a strange warmth mixed in, confusion, gratitude, fear, all tangled together. As they ate, Lily chatted endlessly about her day, her drawings, the teacher who smiled too much, the boy who pulled her braids. Claire listened like every word mattered. When Lily finally yawned and Ethan tucked her into bed, Claire stood alone in the living room, staring at a framed photo on the shelf. Ethan and Lily, smiling awkwardly at the camera, joy and sadness woven together in a way only loss could create. "She looks just like her mother," Claire said quietly when Ethan returned. He nodded. "She has her laugh too." Silence settled again, heavier this time, loaded with things unsaid. "You still haven't told me everything," Ethan said. Claire exhaled. "I know." She sat, folding her hands together. "When I was 12, my father used to come home just like you do. Exhausted, quiet, pretending everything was fine." Ethan's jaw tightened. "He died when I was 20, she continued. "Heart failure. Years of stress. No one noticed, including me." Her voice wavered just slightly. "When I saw you leaving early every day, everyone called you uncommitted. Weak. A liability." She looked up at him. All I could see was my father disappearing again. Ethan swallowed. So you cleaned my house? Yes, she said simply. Because no one cleaned his. That was it. The dam broke again. Ethan sank into the chair, shoulders shaking, the weight of years pouring out of him. He cried for the nights. He skipped meals so Lily could eat. For the promotions, he turned down. For the exhaustion, he wore like armor. Claire didn't touch him. She didn't interrupt. She just stayed. The next morning, the office buzzed with rumors before Ethan even stepped inside. Did you hear? Someone whispered. About the emergency meeting? I heard someone's getting fired. Ethan kept his head down, heart pounding. His phone buzzed. Please come to the main conference room at 9 a.m. Claire. He stared at the message. At exactly 9, Claire walked in. The room fell silent. She stood at the head of the table, eyes scanning every face. Then she spoke. Before we begin, she said, I want to talk about something we've been ignoring. She turned toward Ethan. Ethan Miller, would you stand up? Every eye snapped to him. His face burned as he slowly rose. For 3 years, Claire continued, this man has carried more responsibility than anyone realized. He fixed last night's system failure alone. He refused overtime. He covered shifts. He donated anonymously. Murmurs rippled through the room. He did it quietly, she said, voice firm, while being mocked for leaving early to pick up his child. Some faces dropped. Mark stared at the table. This company rewards results, Claire said. But today, we acknowledge character. She turned back to Ethan. Effective immediately, you're promoted to lead systems analyst. Flexible hours. Full benefits. Ethan's breath hitched. And starting today, she added, we implement family support policies company-wide. Silence. Then applause. Thunderous. Ethan stood frozen, tears threatening again, overwhelmed by something he hadn't felt in years. Respect. If you're still watching right now, type respect in the comments, because moments like this deserve to be seen. Life didn't magically become perfect after that, but it became lighter. Ethan left work without shame. Lily laughed more. Their home felt fuller. One evening, as Ethan tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, Daddy? Yes, sweetheart. Is Miss Claire our family? He smiled softly. She helped us. That counts. Across the city, Claire stood alone in her office, looking out at the lights below. For the first time, success didn't feel empty. Sometimes, the greatest leaders kneel so others can stand. And sometimes, all it takes to change a life is being seen. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs hope today.